Welcome back. Today we dive headfirst into Robert Greene's masterful The 48 Laws of Power. This book, packed with strategy and ambition, unveils the hidden codes that influence our interactions and ambitions. With 48 laws to cover, there's no time to waste. Let's jump straight into the video. Let's visualize a scenario. You're seated in a business conference and a team member introduces a game-changing concept. Rather than promptly objecting or projecting doubt, you choose to navigate by an unspoken principle, the art of not outshining the master. You applaud their initiative, offer insightful recommendations, and lend your backing to their vision, fully aware that encroaching or undercutting could sow seeds of animosity. By exhibiting deference towards leadership and organizational structure, you safeguard bonds and alliances. This careful dance of power and diplomacy serves as a testament to the wisdom of our first rule. Law number 1 is to never outshine the master. Picture yourself immersed in a complex project, surrounded by an onslaught of information from every angle. You're deciding on who to involve to bolster your project's chances of success. Contrary to typical approaches, you don't just lean on your close friends or allies. Instead, you bring in a colleague known for his skepticism. His critique, often perceived as negative, helps iron out the wrinkles in your project, making it more robust. His involvement not only refines your work, but also can transform a professional rivalry into a relationship of mutual respect. This strategy reflects the wisdom in a powerful maxim, a guideline that helps navigate the complicated web of interpersonal relations in a power dynamic. Law number 2, never put too much trust in friends, learn to use enemies. Consider the famous Trojan horse in ancient Greek history. The Greeks during the Trojan War appeared to retreat, leaving behind a large wooden horse as an apparent gift. The Trojans, unaware of the Greeks' real intentions, brought the horse inside their fortified city. Little did they know that the horse was filled with Greek soldiers, who then opened the city gates at night, leading to the fall of Troy. Now picture yourself in a critical business negotiation. Just like the Greeks, you maintain an air of mystery about your strategies. By not revealing your full plan, you create an element of surprise that can provide you with the upper hand, allowing you to steer situations towards your desired outcome. Such a strategy reflects a key principle in understanding the dynamics of power. Law number 3, conceal your intentions. Let's turn the pages of history to the era of America's 30th President Calvin Coolidge, famously known as Silent Cal. His reputation for being reserved wasn't due to a lack of wit or wisdom, but a tactical decision. He understood that by speaking less, others would invariably reveal more about themselves. Transport this principle to a lively social event you are attending. The urge to mingle and blend in might be strong. However, you resist the temptation and instead decide to stand out, becoming a source of fascination. By restraining your words, you create a vacuum that others feel compelled to fill. As they reveal more about themselves, you gain insights and subtly steer the conversation's direction. This tactic of calculated reticence echoes an essential tenet in the realm of power. Law number 4, always say less than necessary. Consider this. You're a local musician preparing for a significant gig at a popular venue in your town. You're known for your soulful performances, but this time the challenge is tougher. You're to perform a genre you're not well versed in. Do you risk going ahead with little preparation, or do you take your time to rehearse and research? You recall that a performer's reputation can make or break their career. So instead of diving headfirst into the deep end, you decide to respect the challenge. You spend countless hours mastering the new genre, ensuring that your performance will only enhance your reputation. Your meticulous preparation pays off. The performance is a success, solidifying your reputation as a versatile artist. It earns you more gig offers, gains you new fans, and even draws admiration from seasoned artists in the new genre. This tale encapsulates the essence of a vital principle in the art of power. Law number 5, so much depends on reputation. Guard it with your life. Reflect back to the era of the famous artist Pablo Picasso. Picasso was more than just an extraordinarily gifted artist. He was a maestro at courting public attention. He knew that to truly make a lasting impact, he needed to stand out from the crowd. Picasso consistently reinvented his style, routinely challenging convention and stirring the pot of the art world. He was never simply another artist lost in the crowd. He was a leader, a trendsetter, an ever-burning beacon in the art world spotlight. Now imagine a situation in your professional life where you're seeking to impress someone, perhaps a superior, a client, or a coworker. You follow in Picasso's footsteps, ensuring your contributions are noticed. But your approach is delicate, calculated. This isn't about boastful grandstanding or shameless self-promotion. Rather, you strive to strike a balance, standing out through your outstanding efforts and maintaining authenticity in your approach. Such is the wisdom gleaned from the pages of history and the hallways of power. And it's perfectly encapsulated in this essential rule. Law number 6, court attention at all costs. Recall the story of Thomas Edison, often hailed as America's greatest inventor. Edison is credited with inventing the electric light bulb, but in truth, many of the fundamental technologies had been developed by others. Edison's genius lay in his ability to improve on existing ideas, commercialize them, and most importantly, take the credit. His name became synonymous with the electric light bulb, while those who did the groundwork remained largely unknown. Now transport this understanding into a modern-day situation. You're in a brainstorming session with your team. Instead of immediately sharing your thoughts, you urge others to put forth their ideas. You listen, curate, and build upon these suggestions, subtly shaping the direction of the project. Through this approach, you're not just getting the work done, but you're also ensuring that your leadership and contribution are recognized, despite not being the originator of every idea. This clever maneuver reflects a pivotal principle of power dynamics. Law number 7, let others do the work for you, but always take the credit. Imagine you're a real estate agent negotiating a price for a high-value property. The other party is eager, but you sense they're trying to lower the price. You remember the importance of setting the game on your terms. Instead of pursuing them with counteroffers, you hold back and let the property's unique features and prime location serve as bait. They come to you, their desire to secure the property growing. This approach puts you in a position of control, enabling you to maintain the property's price and dictate the negotiation's tempo. This is a practical example of a pivotal principle in the art of power. Law number 8, make other people come to you. Use bait if necessary. Imagine you're a chef at a popular restaurant, and a new menu item you've proposed is facing some skepticism from the management. They argue it's too unconventional for your customers. Instead of engaging in a drawn-out debate, you decide to let your work speak for itself. You prepare the dish as a special one-day offering, and it turns out to be a hit among the customers. The glowing reviews and demand for more leaves management with no room for argument. This strategy perfectly embodies a key principle in understanding power dynamics. Law number 9, win through your actions, never through argument. Suppose you're working in a corporate office and you've recently had a falling out with a contentious coworker. The office grapevine is rife with speculation, and sharing your side of the story might momentarily satiate the gossip, but could also impact your professional image. Instead of engaging with the negativity, you choose to follow a different path. You gravitate towards colleagues known for their positivity, success, and professional demeanor. Their influence uplifts you, shields you from office politics, and helps you maintain your reputation as a focused, hard-working professional. Such a strategy represents a crucial rule in the world of power dynamics. Law number 10, infection, avoid the unhappy and the unlucky. Imagine you're a software engineer at a tech startup. You notice that despite your best efforts and contributions, you're feeling undervalued and overlooked. Then you recall an important principle. Instead of just doing your assigned tasks, you decide to take on a challenging project, developing a new feature that could significantly benefit your company's product. You invest time and energy, mastering new skills along the way. The project is a success, and suddenly your role within the team becomes indispensable. Your colleagues and superiors rely on your newfound expertise, and your value within the company rises. This is a real-world application of an essential law of power. Law number 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. Let's travel back to the time of Julius Caesar. Once kidnapped by pirates, Caesar didn't respond with hostility, but instead used selective honesty and generosity. He promised more ransom than they demanded, disarming them with his unexpected behavior. Once freed, however, Caesar brought justice upon his former captors. Applying this historical lesson to everyday life, picture a scenario with a tough client. Instead of confrontation, you show understanding, patience, and openness about your product's limitations. This unexpected honesty disarms the client, eases tension, and paves the way for a better working relationship. Both instances perfectly demonstrate the wisdom of our final principle. Law number 12, use selective honesty and generosity to disarm your victim. Let's embark on a journey to Renaissance Italy and explore the ingenious mind of Niccolò Machiavelli. Notably, Machiavelli was a firm believer in appealing to self-interest rather than mercy or gratitude. When he was ousted from Florentine politics and sought to return, he wrote The Prince, a guide to political power, hoping to catch the eye of the ruling Medici family. He promised them insights and counsel that would help them maintain their rule, leveraging their self-interest for his advantage. Applying this wisdom to a modern scenario, envision a friend who has outperformed you in some aspect. Instead of succumbing to envy, you commend their accomplishment and ask for guidance, appealing to their pride and expertise. This not only gives you valuable insights, but also fosters a stronger bond with them. Both instances exemplify a powerful principle to remember. Law number 13. When asking for help, appeal to people's self-interest, never to their mercy or gratitude. Think back to a time when you joined a new workplace or moved into a new neighborhood. You're surrounded by new faces, unfamiliar dynamics, and unseen alliances. You might have reservations, not fully trusting everyone's intentions immediately. Here, you could apply a principle that's as old as humanity itself, observing quietly and subtly, gathering insights about the world around you. Picture yourself attending social gatherings, participating in discussions, all the while listening more than you speak. Your friendly demeanor puts others at ease, but behind the scenes, you're learning, understanding who holds influence, what the prevailing attitudes are, and where potential opportunities may lie. This isn't about deceit or spying in the traditional sense. It's about maintaining awareness and vigilance in new and uncertain situations. These simple yet powerful actions mirror a timeless law of power. Law number 14, pose as a friend, work as a spy. Let's travel back to the 2nd century BC, to the climax of the Punic Wars between Rome and Carthage. In the aftermath of the Second Punic War, despite the peace treaty, Rome perceived Carthage as a potential threat that could rise to power again. Eventually, during the Third Punic War, Rome didn't just seek to defeat Carthage, they decided to obliterate it. The city was destroyed, its walls torn down, and its fields salted to prevent the regrowth of crops. This was Rome's strategy to ensure Carthage could never again rise as a rival. In a parallel modern context, consider a corporate takeover scenario. A growing company threatens to overshadow your business. To protect your interests, you acquire this competitor, but you don't just merge. You dissolve their brand, integrate their unique products into your portfolio, and reassign their key talents into your organization. This way, the competitor, as a separate entity, ceases to exist and their advantages now belong to you. Such decisive moves resonate with a certain strategic principle. Law number 15, crush your enemy totally. Suppose you're known in your friend group for your exceptional event planning skills. Every party, every get-together, you're the one who organizes it all. Over time, however, your friends start taking your efforts for granted. One day you decide not to be the planner for an upcoming gathering. Suddenly, in your absence, your friends find themselves in unfamiliar territory, struggling with all the details you used to manage. When you finally return for the next event, your skills and contributions are met with newfound appreciation and respect. This situation encapsulates a key principle. Law number 16. Use absence to increase respect and honor. You're part of a group of friends who love playing pickup basketball on the weekends. You're a decent player, but your moves have become predictable over time, and opponents often know how you're going to play. Instead of sticking to your usual strategy, you decide to switch things up. You practice different moves, fake-outs, and varying your pace. The next time you hit the court, your friends are taken aback by your unpredictability. 1 minute you're passing the ball. The next you're shooting a three-pointer. Your flexible and unpredictable play style keeps your opponents guessing and off balance. This tactic leads your team to win the game, proving the power of law number 17. Keep others in suspended terror. Cultivate an air of unpredictability. Reflect on the story of King Ludwig II of Bavaria, known as the fairy tale king. Renowned for constructing grand castles, Ludwig, ironically, isolated himself within these fortresses. This isolation led to his downfall, with his ministers eventually declaring him insane and dethroning him. In our lives, we encounter similar situations. Let's say you're dealing with a friend whose constant drama is draining. While the initial response may be to withdraw completely, law number 18 advises against this. Instead of isolating yourself, you maintain a careful balance between engagement and distance, thereby avoiding total isolation while still safeguarding your peace. This illustrates the wisdom of law number 18. Do not build fortresses to protect yourself. Isolation is dangerous. Let's revisit the court of the Ottoman Sultan, Suleiman the Magnificent, and his Grand Vizier Ibrahim Pasha. A childhood friend of Suleiman's, Ibrahim was promoted to the role of Grand Vizier and given unparalleled authority. But as he grew more powerful, Ibrahim began to flaunt his power and wealth, offending Suleiman, the one person he shouldn't have. The result was fatal for Ibrahim. Angered and feeling disrespected, Suleiman had him executed, ending a lifelong friendship and illustrating a harsh consequence of offending the wrong person. Now imagine you're working on a team project, and there's a member who's difficult to get along with. You may feel tempted to confront this person, but instead, you decide to understand their viewpoint and act diplomatically, thus avoiding potential friction. This approach aligns perfectly with law number 19. Know who you're dealing with. Do not offend the wrong person. Let's take a moment to imagine being 17 years old again, finding your way through high school. You found your talent and passion in music, and your skill set has made you popular among several school bands. Each of these groups would love to have you as a committed member. However, you have a lingering worry. Could committing to one band limit your musical growth and exploration? Instead of locking yourself into one group, you decide to retain your independence. You collaborate with different bands, learning various styles and expanding your skill set. This autonomy allows you to participate in a range of experiences based on your interests at the time, while also maximizing your personal growth and enjoyment. As you navigate these opportunities and choices, you're living out the wisdom of law number 20. Do not commit to anyone. Let's take a stroll down memory lane to your days on a community soccer league. You noticed an ongoing feud between two teammates. Their personal grievances had started to seep into the team's performance, turning every game into a ticking time bomb of arguments and finger-pointing. Instead of stepping in immediately, you chose to step back. You acted oblivious to their bickering, all while keeping a keen eye on the interactions, subtle exchanges, and body language. You seemed unobservant, even indifferent, but beneath this facade you were analyzing the situation, understanding the root of their conflict and each individual's personality. Finally, when you had gathered enough information, you decided to intervene. Armed with your newfound insights, you mediated a resolution that not only ended the feud but also strengthened the team's bond. This strategic play perfectly embodies the essence of law number 21. Play a sucker to catch a sucker. Seem dumber than your mark. Imagine this. You're an aspiring writer whose first book just made it big. Success is thrilling, but the pressure to follow up with another bestseller is overwhelming. You feel like you're staring at an insurmountable wall of expectation. Instead of panicking, you use this pressure creatively. You openly share with your readers about the difficult second book syndrome and give them sneak peeks into your writing process. This strategy not only buys you time, but also deepens your connection with your audience. In essence, you have transformed a potential weakness into a new kind of strength, a tactic neatly encapsulated in Law number 22. Use the surrender tactic. Transform weakness into power. Imagine a humble bee in a forest, its value in the ecosystem enormous as a pollinator despite its tiny size. It doesn't attempt everything. Instead, it focuses on what it does best, facilitating pollination, thus ensuring the survival and growth of various plant species. In situations where you feel undervalued, draw from this example. Don't scatter your efforts, but focus on leveraging your strengths and creating the most impact. This not only enhances your worth, but makes a significant contribution overall. And so we find the essence of Law number 23. Concentrate your forces. Take a journey back to the Renaissance era. One man navigates the complex and treacherous environment of the French royal court with an unparalleled grace. This man is none other than Nicolas Fouquet, the finance minister of King Louis XIV. Despite being amidst a nest of vipers, as royal courts often are, Fouquet manages to play the perfect courtier. He uses charm, tact, and a keen sense of adaptability to maintain favor and stave off enemies. Translating this to your own life, suppose you find yourself constantly on the defense, feeling like you're in a similar court scenario. Maybe it's a tricky office environment, a competitive social circle, or a challenging family situation. Instead of staying defensive, you could strive to win favor through charm and tact. Learn the art of listening, be adaptable to different personalities, and maintain balance in your interactions. Doing so, you'll not just survive, but thrive, embodying the essence of Law number 24, play the perfect courtier. Imagine for a moment, you're in the world of 1920s America, a time of immense change. One individual stands out, the inimitable F. Scott Fitzgerald. Known for his dazzling prose and portrayal of the Jazz Age, Fitzgerald was a writer who started as a struggling ad writer to become a revered literary figure. Fitzgerald's initial work was not groundbreaking, nor was it the success he aspired it to be. But instead of sticking to tried and tested formulas, he decided to break the mold. Fitzgerald redefined his literary style and focused on the era he was living in, the Roaring Twenties. This resulted in The Great Gatsby, a novel that not only broke away from his earlier style but also depicted the age's excesses and illusions in a new light. Fitzgerald's bold step to reinvent his writing style resulted in a literary classic and established him as one of the leading authors of his time. His story is a testament to Law number 25, recreate yourself. Imagine you're organizing a community event. You've put in a lot of effort, but the local town council objects to certain aspects of your plan. Instead of engaging in a public dispute, you decide to work behind the scenes. You involve influential community members who have the council's ear to negotiate on your behalf. The event takes place successfully and any controversy dies down. The town council, satisfied with the outcome, appreciates your discreet handling of the issue. You've effectively navigated a complex situation without staining your reputation. Personifying Law number 26, keep your hands clean. Let's delve into the world of late 19th century France and consider the captivating story of the Eiffel Tower. When Gustave Eiffel proposed his plan for a wrought iron lattice tower to stand as the centerpiece of the 1889 Exposition Universelle, he was met with intense criticism from many, including France's own artists and intellectuals. They viewed it as an absurd project that would tarnish Paris's image. Despite the backlash, Eiffel remained unflustered. He was not simply building a tower, he was giving shape to a symbol of industrial might and engineering prowess. He tapped into the French pride and national identity, emphasizing how the tower would represent France's technological advancement. Using brilliant marketing techniques like inviting notable figures to dine at the tower's top before its completion, Eiffel slowly turned the tide of public opinion. Soon, people were flocking to marvel at this architectural wonder, and it became a beloved symbol of Paris. Eiffel had effectively created a cult-like following for his tower, illuminating the power of Law number 27. Play on people's need to believe to create a cult-like following. Imagine you're taking a tranquil walk through a lush forest. Your attention is drawn to a tiny seedling sprouting between the cracks of a massive boulder. Despite the seemingly insurmountable odds, this little sapling exerts a bold push against the massive rock. It's taking a risk, a big one at that. But without that daring action, its chances of survival are slim. The tiny plant's audaciousness stirs something within you. It reminds you of a project you've been mulling over but have held back due to fear of others' opinions. The sight of the seedling, determined to grow despite the challenging circumstances, motivates you. You decide to cast aside your hesitation and present your innovative project. Your boldness surprises others but also intrigues them. This courage opens up a new realm of possibilities. From this little seedling we can draw a profound lesson encapsulated in Law number 28. Enter action with boldness. Imagine being a university student, tasked with organizing a major event like a music festival. It's an enormous undertaking with numerous elements to consider, from booking artists, securing permits, to managing ticket sales. Instead of diving in haphazardly, you take a step back. You envision the end, a successful, bustling festival. With this end picture in mind, you plot a roadmap, breaking down the process into manageable tasks, each with a clear timeline. As the festival day arrives, everything falls into place just as you imagined. It's not only a well-organized, successful event, but a testament to Law number 29, plan all the way to the end. Imagine you're an amateur chef hosting a dinner party for friends. You've spent weeks planning the perfect menu, sourcing ingredients, and practicing your recipes. The day of the event, however, is fraught with chaos in the kitchen. A burnt appetizer, an overcooked main dish, a dessert that didn't set. Despite it all, you manage to serve an exquisite three-course meal right on time. Your friends are none the wiser to the mishaps behind the scenes. They compliment the delicious food and the relaxed atmosphere, marveling at how effortlessly you seem to have pulled off such a sophisticated menu. You merely smile, accepting the praise, while they are left with an image of you as a competent and skilled host. The benefit of this approach is not only maintaining your reputation for competence, but also making your accomplishments appear more impressive. It can increase others' admiration and respect for you, solidifying your status and influence in their eyes. This is the power of Law number 30. Make your accomplishments seem effortless. In 27 BC, Rome found itself under the leadership of Octavian, later known as Augustus. Having defeated his rivals, he had a new challenge, transitioning Rome from a republic to an empire without inciting rebellion. To achieve this, he presented the Senate with two choices: either endure the chaos of his stepping down or grant him special powers for Rome's stability. Fearing civil unrest, the Senate chose the latter, effectively making him the first Roman emperor. This manipulation of choices is a display of Law 31. Control the options. Get others to play with the cards you deal. Let's turn the pages of history and venture into the era of the great explorers. In the late 15th century, Christopher Columbus wanted to find a new route to Asia. However, the challenge was immense and the journey fraught with unknown dangers. To secure the support he needed, Columbus played to the fantasies of the Spanish monarchs, Ferdinand and Isabella. He promised them unimaginable riches, new territories, and the spread of Christianity. This proposition was too tantalizing for the monarchs to resist. Columbus's strategy succeeded, and despite encountering many setbacks on his voyages, he made history. His approach beautifully illustrates how aligning your objectives with people's dreams can rally support and turn intimidating challenges into achievable tasks. And this, my friends, is a testament to Law 32. Play to people's fantasies. Imagine you're planning a surprise party for a friend who's notoriously hard to surprise. Each of your fellow co-conspirators has different strengths and incentives. One friend is an expert at distraction, another loves baking, and another has a knack for decorations. By understanding what motivates each person, you can assign them tasks that align with their interests, making the plan more likely to succeed. Now apply the same principle in your workplace. Each team member has their own drives, deadlines, recognition, creative freedom. By recognizing these and assigning tasks accordingly, you create a more productive and cohesive environment. In both these scenarios, understanding what drives those around you can greatly enhance your effectiveness. This embodies Law 33. Discover each man's thumbscrew. Let's take a look at the animal kingdom, specifically at the regal lion. Known as the king of the jungle, the lion is a perfect example of exuding self-respect. Despite not being the largest, fastest, or most powerful animal, the lion carries itself with a certain majesty that commands respect from all other creatures. Now think of this in terms of your own life. Imagine you're volunteering at a local event. Despite not being in a designated leadership position, you carry out your responsibilities with dedication, poise, and a positive attitude. People start looking to you for direction and following your lead, naturally gravitating towards your confidence. In both examples, self-respect is key. Whether you're a lion in the jungle or an individual in a crowd, when you respect yourself and act with confidence, others are likely to treat you with the same regard. This is the essence of Law 34. Be royal in your own fashion, act like a king to be treated like one. Consider the story of Airbnb. The idea was born in 2008 when the founders, struggling to pay rent, decided to rent out their loft as a bed and breakfast to those attending a conference in town. The concept took off, and Airbnb soon became a platform that revolutionized the hospitality industry. However, imagine if Airbnb was launched during the pandemic in 2020 instead. The global lockdowns and travel restrictions would have made it almost impossible for the platform to gain traction. Many startups that relied on travel and mobility faced significant challenges during this period. This illustrates the importance of timing in all endeavors. The right idea at the wrong time might fail, while the same idea at the right time can soar. Just like Airbnb's success was partially due to launching at a time when the concept could thrive, our personal and professional lives can also greatly benefit from well-timed decisions and actions. This encapsulates the essence of Law 35. Master the art of timing. Let's consider the story of Steven Spielberg, one of the most celebrated directors and producers in the film industry. Spielberg was rejected from the University of Southern California's School of Cinematic Arts multiple times. Instead of dwelling on this setback, he didn't let the rejection deter him. He focused on what he could control, his passion for filmmaking and his ability to tell compelling stories. He went on to create some of the highest-grossing films in cinema history, and even after gaining monumental success, he never attended a traditional film school. In fact, USC later awarded him an honorary degree, and Spielberg became a trustee of the university. By ignoring what he couldn't have, a formal film education at USC, he concentrated on developing his craft and pursuing his dreams. So, the next time you face doubt or a seeming lack of resources, remember Spielberg's story. Instead of fixating on what you can't control or don't have, concentrate on your strengths and abilities. This way, you can improve your confidence and effectiveness. This demonstrates Law 36. Disdain things you cannot have. Ignoring them is the best revenge. Let's take a step back into history to the age of the Vikings. They were not just warriors but masters of spectacle. Their arrival on the shores in their uniquely designed longboats with large shields mounted on the sides and terrifying dragon figureheads at the bow served as a chilling spectacle to anyone who witnessed it. The sight was designed to evoke fear and awe even before the battle had begun. But their theatrics weren't limited to their naval prowess. They were known for their brutal but effective berserker warriors. These fighters would work themselves into a trance-like fury before battles, howling like wild animals, biting their shields, and charging fearlessly at their enemies. The spectacle of the berserkers not only terrified their foes but also bolstered the morale of the Viking warriors themselves. This manipulation of perception to control the narrative is a clear embodiment of the power of spectacle. Drawing from this, whether it's a challenging business negotiation, a social movement, or a personal goal, creating a compelling spectacle can capture attention, sway opinions, and steer the situation in your favor, exemplifying law number 37, create compelling spectacles. Think back to the world of espionage and James Bond, everyone's favorite secret agent. There were countless occasions where Bond had to fit into a variety of social settings. From high-stakes poker games to luxurious yacht parties, Bond knew the art of blending in. He was always aware of local customs and traditions, and he was careful to behave as others did, all the while keeping his true intentions concealed. This careful balance of conformity and individuality saved Bond's life on numerous occasions and enabled him to accomplish his mission without arousing suspicion. It's a practical example that serves to remind us how sometimes we need to fit in to get the job done, even when our own beliefs or thoughts may differ. This encapsulates the spirit of law number 38. Think as you like, but behave like others. Picture this scenario. You're at a party and there's a heated argument between a group of friends. The atmosphere is heavy and tensions are escalating. Suddenly a friend, let's call her Sarah, accidentally knocks over her drink, causing a minor commotion. Everyone's attention shifts to the spilled drink and the argument is momentarily forgotten. Sarah uses this distraction to smoothly change the topic, lightening the mood and steering clear of further conflict. This anecdote may seem simple, but it illustrates a clever strategy. Sarah created a minor chaos to divert attention, turning a tense situation into a manageable one. It's a delicate game, but when played right, it echoes the essence of a particularly intriguing law number 39. Stir up waters to catch fish. Imagine you're a college student and you spot an ad offering a free smartphone if you sign up for a credit card. The offer seems too good to refuse, but something in you hesitates. The more you think about it, the more it seems like there's a catch. You decide to investigate further. Reading the fine print, you uncover high interest rates and hefty annual fees that could plunge you into debt. Now consider a bird in the wild. It spots a worm lying out in the open, seemingly easy pickings. But instead of rushing forward, it scans its surroundings, aware that this could be a trap set by a predator. Like this wise bird, you avoid what appears to be an easy meal. You decline the credit card offer, successfully navigating away from a potential trap. This embodies the wisdom behind law number 40, despise the free lunch. Picture Alexander the Great's death in 323 BC. Upon his death, his vast empire was left leaderless. His generals, known as the Diadochi, began a power struggle to fill the vacuum. Among them, Ptolemy chose to carve out his own kingdom in Egypt, creating a dynasty that lasted for nearly 300 years, rather than trying to recreate Alexander's empire. Ptolemy didn't attempt to step into Alexander's shoes and rule the vast empire. Instead, he struck his own path, innovating a new Hellenistic culture that thrived on the blend of Greek and Egyptian traditions. This perfectly captures the essence of law number 41. Avoid stepping into a great man's shoes. Consider a scenario in a corporate office where a team is consistently underperforming and causing delays in a project. The project manager, instead of directly addressing the entire team, chooses to have a one-on-one with the team leader, who seems to be mismanaging resources. After understanding the issues and providing guidance to the team leader, the team's performance dramatically improves. By focusing on the shepherd, the project manager was able to bring about a positive change in the sheep, the rest of the team. This embodies the principle of law number 42. Strike the shepherd and the sheep will scatter. Consider the historical figure Martin Luther King Jr., a civil rights activist who worked tirelessly to end racial segregation in America. Rather than resorting to violence or anger, he used his powerful speeches and peaceful protests to stir emotions and connect with people, not just in America, but all around the world. His famous "I Have a Dream" speech still resonates with millions, shaping their hearts and minds toward a vision of equality. His approach is an embodiment of law number 43. work on the hearts and minds of others. During World War II, the Allies launched an ingenious operation known as Operation Fortitude. Their goal was to deceive the German forces about the intended location of the D-Day invasion. They achieved this by creating a mirror army, complete with inflatable tanks and fake radio traffic, making it seem as if they were preparing to attack Pas-de-Calais. Meanwhile, the real invasion was planned for Normandy. Misled by the diversion, the Germans fortified Pas-de-Calais, leaving Normandy less defended. The operation was so successful that even after the Normandy invasion began, the Germans still anticipated an attack at Pas-de-Calais. This strategic deception was a classic demonstration of Law Number 44, disarm and infuriate with the mirror effect. When Facebook first started, it was a simple platform for university students to interact with each other. However, as the user base grew, the company realized it needed to evolve to cater to its diverse users. They didn't overhaul the entire system at once, though. Instead, they implemented changes gradually, introducing new features like news feeds, groups, pages, and eventually, the ability for businesses to advertise. The gradual approach allowed users to adapt to each new feature, preventing a mass exodus due to drastic changes. Facebook's strategy kept users engaged and allowed the company to grow into one of the most influential social media platforms globally. In navigating the tricky waters of change, Facebook subtly embodied Law Number 45, preached the need for change but never reformed too much at once. Consider the case of Elon Musk, the CEO of SpaceX and Tesla. Despite his high-profile status and incredible achievements, he's known for his candid and often humorous interactions on social media, sharing both his triumphs and his failures. For instance, when a prototype of the SpaceX Starship exploded upon landing, Musk didn't try to downplay the failure. Instead, he openly acknowledged it, even making light of the situation. This approachability and honesty, a deviation from the corporate norm, have earned him a loyal following. He doesn't try to appear perfect, but rather embraces and shares his imperfections. This openness allows him to connect with people on a human level, which is a practical application of Law Number 46, never appear too perfect. Consider the example of the Second Punic War, 218 till 201 BC, specifically the Battle of Cannae, where Hannibal, the Carthaginian general, famously defeated the Roman Republic. Hannibal had achieved a tremendous victory, but he hesitated to march directly on Rome, much to the dismay of some of his officers. Hannibal knew that a direct assault on Rome would stretch his army thin and possibly lead to a devastating defeat. He chose a strategic retreat, savoring his victory and preserving his forces for future battles. Despite his apparent hesitance, his choice not to go past the mark he aimed for ultimately preserved his army and maintained the balance of power, at least for a time. This historical incident embodies the essence of Law Number 47. Do not go past the mark you aimed for. In victory, learn when to stop. Imagine the iconic boxing legend Muhammad Ali, renowned not just for his physical prowess but his mental agility too. He was a fighter who constantly adapted his strategy, switching between styles and tactics in response to his opponents. His ability to change his approach on the fly kept his adversaries guessing and off balance. Ali's rope-a-dope strategy in the famous Rumble in the Jungle match against George Foreman is a stellar example. Knowing that Foreman was a powerful and aggressive fighter, Ali leaned on the ropes, allowing Foreman to throw punch after punch, tiring himself out. Then, when Foreman was exhausted, Ali capitalized and won the match. This is a compelling illustration of the ability to be flexible, to adapt to changing circumstances, which allows us to navigate life's challenges with resilience and creativity. A perfect personification of Law Number 48, assume formlessness. That wraps up our deep dive into the intricate world of Robert Greene's The 48 Laws of Power. Whether you're looking to harness these strategies or simply be aware of them, understanding power dynamics is crucial in navigating the complexities of human relationships. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video and found it helpful, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. And if you liked what you saw, a like would mean the world to me. It helps support the channel and lets me know you want to see more content like this. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.